We did it again. We're getting good. All right, well, I have a mouse in my house. And I spent a little bit of time wondering how I had attracted a mouse. Never had a mouse in my house. Have a mouse in my house. And now I know. Because the title of today's talk was supposed to be, how's that working for you? But I have prepared a talk called You Do You, which was going to be next week, but now it's this week. And so next week, I'll have more to tell you about Henry Walter Mouse that is living in my house. But I'm not going to talk about it today, and we'll find out how that's working for me next week. Okay, well, so today we do continue our focus this month on catchy phrases that offer spiritual insight. And I know that we've all heard the phrase, you do you, especially recently. Even though the phrase has been around for a while. It seems only recently it's caught on in a positive way. It originated a while back as a shortened version of the longer phrase, you do you, and I'll do me, which, for the most part, was used defensively, intended to be dismissive of someone's unsolicited advice. Like, why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? And why don't you live the way I think you should? And the retort was, you do you, and I'll do me. And for a while, even in the shortened version, it was still an indication from someone that they didn't appreciate another person's opinion or criticism. You do you. With a silent but intended, and I'll do me. But like everything else that's spoken, it's not necessarily the words used, but the context in which they're used and the tone of voice that's used when they're spoken. Nowadays, the very same phrase, you do you, is mostly used in a positive way, as words of encouragement for someone to be true to themselves. It's intended to encourage a person to follow their dreams and live their life however they want to live it. To follow their own path, to do what they think is best, do what suits them, do whatever makes them feel unique. And most of all, for that person to make choices that are authentic to who they are, regardless of what others may think or expect. You got to do you, girl. That's our positive take on it today. You gotta do you. Be your unique self. Make choices that feel good to you. Think big within, and then allow your amazing imagination to flow through your self-expression in this world. To feel your freedom to be, and then act on it. So we'll start with a quote from one of our favorite philosophers. Dr. Seuss said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." If we want to, we are absolutely free to deliberately direct our own life, to live a life every moment that feels good to us. To us. But often we don't, because those who mind do matter to us. Our family, our friends, some authority figure. Rather than doing what feels authentic and true to us as our own self-expression, we do what others think is best for us, because we worry that others won't be happy with us if we don't. Rather than doing what makes us feel happy because we just love to feel happy and we know that feeling good is good for us, we focus on making others happy. We say what we think they want to hear, and we don't say what we think they don't want to hear. But the only thing that'll ever mess with our experience of anyone isn't what they think about us. It's what we think about what they think about us. And so we gauge our mood and our self-expression to what's going on around us. If it's not positive, then we join the drama because we think that's what's expected of us. We think that's what others want from us. And we not only don't want to seem uncaring, we want to be liked. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. We want to fit in. So we commiserate with what's going on around us instead of elevating our vibration to the joy within us. That's always there for us, even when we ignore it. I mean, what would others say if we authentically expressed ourselves in a way that felt good to us, right for us, true for us? They might say, how can you be, they might, but I doubt it. They might say, how can you be so happy when I'm not feeling good? Don't you feel my pain? They might say, how can you walk around smiling and humming and looking for the good and praising it when there's so much suffering in the world? Don't you care? That's why Abraham Hicks tells us, you can't be sick enough to help a sick person become well. And you can't be poor enough to help a poor person become prosperous. And you can't be worried enough to help a worried person become calm, or sad enough to help a sad person be happy. It's easy for us to think that if we don't suffer with others, or at least bring down our good mood a notch or two, that they're going to think that we can't relate to them or to what's going on in the world. So here's a few questions for us to ask ourselves this morning. Am I doing me? Or am I being someone else for someone else? Am I taking care of how I feel individually? Aware that feeling good is the most important thing that I can do for myself and for everyone else. Abraham Hicks goes on to tell us you can only uplift anyone through the upliftment of yourself. If you're suffering, then you're not under the influence of your inner being. You're not in alignment with who you are born to be. And if you're not in alignment with your inner being, you don't have anything to give. Now, without exception, no matter how it appears to be, no matter what the conditions are in our world, everyone, everywhere in this world has been born and continues to be spiritually free to be. Spiritually free to be. Free to respond to life in this human environment, whatever the circumstances, in a way that feels good within, in a way that feels right within, in a way that feels peaceful within. As spiritual beings having a human experience, but not limited to being only human, we remain limitless, powerful, and peaceful, and filled with boundless possibilities for expressing our true nature in every moment, under every circumstance and condition. We came into this human environment to express our inner self in the outer world, in our own unique way. We didn't even ask for it to be easy to do. We just wanted to do it, and that's why we're here. But we can't do that if we're not being as much of who we are, authentically are, as we're aware of. No one but us is the mastermind of our life. Even when we let others run our life, even when we let others choose for us, that's still a choice we're making. We can point our fingers all day long and say it's this person's fault and that person's responsibility, but we're still the ones giving the power of choice for us to others. When we don't trust ourselves, when we don't look within and feel for inner guidance, we ask others what we should do, and then we do it. I mean, they could be right, and that's true, but there's only one way for us to know if it's right for us. If it feels good, do it, no matter what anybody says. And if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And it's as simple as that. We always have the guidance within us to tell us what's right for us. Greater self-discovery, individual self-discovery. Each of us is looking for that self-discovery within us, and it's not possible through the general consensus of those around us that think they know who we are and what's best for us. When we follow what feels like us, just feels like who we are within, we're actually following the guidance of the one within us that truly does know us and knows what's best for us because it knows every desire we have. We can only discover more of that self, that one that we are created to be, by being true to our inner guidance. We can't do us when we're busy trying to be someone else to please someone else. Shunryu Suzuki, the author of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and so many other books, wrote, "Nothing outside yourself can cause you any trouble. You yourself make the wave in your mind." If you leave your mind as it is, it will become calm. And out of that calmness, you are able to do you in the way you are created to do you. We can't live under the influence of others and experience the clarity of mind that comes when we take care of ourselves first. It's like flying in a jet and putting on our oxygen mask, our own oxygen mask first, so that we can be helpful to others. No one in heaven or on earth can lift us up where we belong into that high vibration that our inner being is always within. Only we have the power over our mind and where we choose to vibe. We can deliberately influence our experiences in this world. When we take ownership of our mental power that belongs to us, when we realize that no one and no thing, no matter who, no matter what, has power to make us think or feel anything we don't agree to think or feel, we understand how important it is for us to do us, rather than giving our power to someone else or to the environment or to the government or to the economy or anything else outside of us. Nothing has the power to uplift our mood without our willingness to rise. And nothing has the power to bring us down without our willingness to be down. If we insist on staying seated on our pity pot or on the world's communal pity pot, there's no one outside of us that can lift us off of it. But while we're sitting there, it's important for us to remind ourselves that an uplifting experience for us or for the world can't come from a down mood. We can only be an uplifter when we're uplifted, when we make the decision to rise into the happy within us. That doesn't mean that we jump up and down in joy while others are sitting around suffering. It doesn't mean bouncing off the walls with a big happy grin on our face and spewing rainbow dust everywhere we go. But it does mean keeping our vibration high, no matter what's going on around us. Happiness can simply feel like a calm ownership of ourself. It can be a subtle feeling that feels so good that we just want to keep on feeling it. Thich Nhat Hanh said there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Happiness is a choice, not a result. Happiness is a way of travel, not a destination. Happiness gives positive momentum to our life journey here and eases our travel. Happiness has a lot of flexibility and latitude. Someone else's presentation of happiness or enlightenment Doesn't need to be some standard we're trying to imitate. We're beautiful, just doing ourselves. As we call upon the authentic happiness within us, the happy that doesn't depend on anything in the world, we discover that we are able to be happy for no reason at all. As Mooji said, you need nothing to be happy, but you need something to be sad. You do you is a way of saying it's important for us to prioritize our own well-being, to make it the number one intention in our life, even if it means doing things differently from everyone around us. It's a powerful thing to live with the awareness that the source energy that created the universe, created us in it, knows that we're here, wanted us to be a part of it from the beginning. And that the whole universe is supporting us in our unique expression within the one creation. No one can express life exactly like you do. A Course in Miracles tells us, I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and peace. Every aspect of creation is valuable to the whole of creation. And that's why it's important, necessary for you to do you. Nobody else can. You know the old saying, everybody else is taken. And if we're thinking right now, it sounds great, but how can little old me be important to this boundless universe, to the whole of creation? As Rumi reminds us, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And the ocean would not be full without you. Eckhart Tolle put it this way: you are not in the universe, you are the universe, an intrinsic part of it. Ultimately, you are not a person, but a focal point where the universe is becoming conscious of itself as ourself. What an amazing miracle. The universe doesn't include duplication. There's no two people, no two snowflakes, no two anything that are exactly alike. Every expression of life is unique, and that includes each of us. That's why Dr. Seuss said, "Today you are you." That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. No one expresses life exactly like you. No one ever has. No one ever will. And that's why, no matter how amazing it may seem, as miraculous as it actually is, the whole universe is depending depending on you to do you. Namaste.